Hello there. Today I'm working on my 2001 Toyota pickup. I've owned this truck since it was brand new. I had about less than 1/10 of a mile on it when I purchased it. So anyway, it's now got 270,000 miles on it or so, 272. And about a month ago, the heater control, the blower for the air conditioner and the heater, would only go on the full blast position. All the other positions would not run the motor at all. And that's a pretty typical problem. There's a old technology load resistor on there that drops the voltage to the motor, basically cooks off some of the current in the form of heat. It's a pretty old tech way of doing it, but a lot of cars have that. Anyway, what happened was a bunch of leaves and debris got into the blower box and was basically insulating the heat into the blower resistor. And I've got the new blower resistor right here. You can see basically a load resistor, and it's got different current pass through it to drop the voltage. I don't know, I guess 4 different levels, whatever amount of speeds are on the knob there, not including the off position. But anyway, to save time, I took the glove compartment off, which is simply 2 screws. This is a 2001. I'm sure they're all different, but and then there's little tabs that hold the edge of the glove box in. You just push this in. Takes a little bit of effort, and then the whole thing will come out and just set it on the floor and get it out of the way. I also took the 2 screws out in the load resistor. There's one on the top and the bottom. It sets in there kind of like that. One at the top, one on the bottom. You're going to need a long screwdriver. This has got about a 10-inch length to it, which is more than you need, but it's what I had handy. Anyway, take the screws out, and this whole thing will come out. And as you can see, it's gotten rather hot, and it burned up, basically, fell apart inside. So anyway, I'm going to pause the video and remove this. But anyway, you just need a tiny screwdriver to push this little tip. In fact, I might be able to do it with my fingers, but I doubt it. But anyway, I'm going to pause the video and remove that. Okay, here we are with the new load resistor in place, and the old one, burnt up version. 19 years of service, it finally gave up the ghost. And it wasn't because of it was defective. It was because a bunch of debris was in the bottom of the heater box. And they should make an inspection panel on these things. You could probably do it yourself if you're handy enough, especially if it was out of the vehicle. It'd be pretty easy. But if you're going to start drilling holes into these things, you run a huge risk of poking a hole into the air conditioner, evaporator, and all that junk that's in there. So I don't recommend that. But if you ever had to take one of these out, it'd be a smart idea to put a little panel on the bottom. You could remove that, and then you could get all the dirt and crap out of there. As it is, you've got to take a whole bunch of screws out and pry it down, wedge screwdriver handles in there or whatever, so you don't get your fingers pinched, and then very carefully pick it out with needle nose pliers or your fingers or a piece of wire or whatever. It's a pain, it really is. And then you can start flushing it out. You know, pour the water down in the crack that you formed there. And the lower half is kind of like a bowl, and then the dirty water will hopefully drain out the drain hose, which is very small. It's about the size of a pencil on the inside. It's not very big, so it can easily get clogged up, and it goes underneath behind the engine, basically on the firewall, and drains onto the ground. So you might have to take a piece of wire in there. But anyway, that's just one of the things. If I'd been ahead of that, I wouldn't be replacing this right now. But anyway, I got this on Amazon for about 20 bucks. It's about a 10-minute job, start to finish, once you have your tools. And they will fix your motor control. And it does suck to only have full blast on your heater. You can't use your phone or anything like that. It's too loud in the car. At least on this truck. This truck is very loud. So I'm going to be looking forward to being able to use the low setting again. Anyway, like I said, this thing has about 272,000 miles I bought it brand new. In fact, this is the I came across this just digging around in here. The original window sticker. It says it gets 21 on the highway. I was able to actually squeak out about 26. It still gets about 23 with the rough, worn-out old tires that are on it, and you know, and all those miles. And it still runs great. But anyway, if you have a heater blower control that only goes on full blast, I guess theoretically it could have burned in half and you wouldn't have anything. But that wasn't the case. I think that circuit is straight through. I don't think it would matter, but I'm not sure on that one. But it does have an overheat tang on it, I noticed. Basically a spring-loaded piece of steel, or actually probably some kind of copper with an alloy on one side. But if it gets hot enough, this little blob of solder will melt away. This will fly off because it's under tension, and that operates sort of like a fuse. So that could have went off of there too if it got hot enough. So if you have one of these that's failed, I guess it's worth taking it out and looking at it and seeing if that is the case, because you could solder that back on, but then you got to figure out why did it happen in the first place. And it's a good bet that there's a bunch of leaves and pine needles and whatever inside this little box. So anyway, that's it. Hopefully this helps you out. It's a $20 fix. Don't go down to the dealership and get screwed over. This is an easy fix. You need a couple of screwdrivers and that's about it. Maybe 10 or 15 minutes at the most. Alright, thanks for watching.